Let's take a look at the radar to start off with, because parts of New South Wales have copped an absolute drenching overnight. Some of the gauges recording more than 200 millimetres in the last 24 hours as the focus of the rainfall has shifted slowly southwards overnight. Warnings remain current this morning for heavy falls likely to worsen the flooding that we're already seeing in New South Wales. Damaging winds now in the mix as well. That could bring down trees and some power lines. The wild weather conditions that really triggered overnight evacuations in Sydney's southwest are very concerning, and there is a lot more rain on the way today. So let's get the latest from the Bureau. Senior meteorologist Jackson Browne joins us now. Good morning, Jackson. Can you tell us about how things developed overnight?
Morning, Nate. Yes, we saw quite a bit of heavy rainfall fall around parts of the Sydney area with a convergent line of thunderstorms moving through the Canterbury-Bankstown region. We saw falls up to 85 millimetres in 2 hours with reports of flash flooding around the shop, with the Georges River at Liverpool peaking just briefly at major. Most of the rainfall, however, over the past 24 hours, or past 22 hours, has been around just the south of Wollongong, with areas inland, Mittagong, seeing 232 millimetres there.
So as people wake up this morning to take a look at their backyards, potentially flooded, and some people have had to leave overnight, what can we expect out of this weather system today?
Well, within the next hour or two, we should see a low pressure system form off the Port Macquarie coast. Now that'll quickly move down towards the Hunter area today, and to the south of that we're going to see convergent bands, like very intense bands of rainfall, move it away onto the Illawarra, Hunter and Sydney areas. More likely in southwest Sydney, we're going to see falls around that 70 to 120 millimetre mark within a 6 hour period. And there could be even stronger elements in these bands where we could see falls up, around that 200 millimetre mark within that 6 hour period. It's really from this morning into this afternoon, and as this low pressure system moves away towards the southeast, we will see a strong southerly surge come up on the western side of this low. So that'll truncate the rainfall, I suppose, by about midnight. But again, we've got those very, very strong winds. So not good news if you've got sodden soils with tree failures likely with those damaging winds. So the severe weather warning does carry that heavy rainfall and the damaging wind threat. And then additionally, with those strong southerly winds, we're going to see some damaging, dangerous surf rather, hazardous surf, make its way onto the New South Wales coast with up to 6 metres of swell there.
So it's really coming from both sides, the rivers rising and the oceans responding as well. Which catchments are you most concerned about? The flooding is a real concern, obviously. Where should people be keeping the closest eye on the warnings?
So we've already seen the renewed major flooding in the Hawkesbury-Nepean, with North Richmond and Windsor going back into the major status that they were only in a week ago. The message that I want people to take away is that we're going to see flooding which is on par with what we saw last year in March. So the Hawkesbury-Nepean, the Colo, the Hunter, looking at rivers around the Illawarra, so possibly the Shoalhaven. It's going to really depend where these convergent bands fall and where we see the greatest response in the river reading levels. Everything's saturated. Everything flows really efficiently into these catchments. So we saw that overnight in Sydney. We didn't need a terrible amount of rainfall to cause flash flooding. It's a story that's likely to be repeated through much of eastern New South Wales today.
You say that it depends, and that's really the case with these east coast lows. It really just depends on exactly how it forms. But can you give us some certainty? How much longer are we going to be dealing with this?
For much of the New South Wales coast, we're looking at a cessation of the heavy rainfall, which is going to lead to this flash flooding by about midnight tonight. So we're really in that pressure cooker hours between now and midnight, where we could see some very heavy rainfall. It's going to be particularly intense from mid-afternoon in the southwestern suburbs of Sydney and the Illawarra and parts of the south coast. It won't mean a total cessation of all the heavy rainfall. We will have some showers and storms that are lingering around, but certainly not the really heavy stuff.